Mic check 1 2. It's the Y2K collector, and these are the types of Switch games that I am into. And if you're into the Metroidvania style of Switch games, I would say that you probably want to be on the lookout for both of these games. Now, shout out to Skur I think that's how you say his YouTube name. We were in a live. I was doing a live, and he reminded me that Beyond the Ice Palace 2 was out. And I had seen this game before it released, completely forgot about it, and he reminded me of it in a live chat. So I actually went ahead and took advantage of Prime Day or Prime Week. As many of you know, Amazon is having their yearly like Prime Day, weekend, whatever you want to call it. And I was actually able to get this on sale for like 23 or 24 bucks on Amazon. And I'm playing through Beyond Ice Palace 2. Now, what can I say about this game? Outside of the fact that it is a Metroidvania style game. And first impressions are, I feel like the music in this game is a little over exaggerated. I feel like it's kind of loud. Actually, maybe I just need to turn my Switch down, but a lot of the music and a lot of the just like the sound effects, they feel a little bit exaggerated. And it feels like they don't really quite match like what you're getting on screen. The character himself, the way he plays, is he feels pretty heavy. He feels like a heavy, sluggish type of character. And the animations with the moves that you're able to do in this game are a little bit clunky. They're not really smooth. He does have like this whip with almost like this grapple attached to it, and it's what allows you to open like doors that are boarded up. You can use it to like break boards down. If with certain enemies, you can use it to pull their shield away from them, and then you can attack. He does have like a heavy attack that he can use on enemies with shields. You get your standard dash, mid-air dash, your ground dash attack. And, overall, it does utilize a little bit of this like swinging mechanic with the grappling hook. It feels okay. There are some enemies, like for instance, they have these skeleton-like enemies that you face in the early stage. And they're enemies that basically when you kind of kill them, for lack of better terms, you can stomp them to death, and that has its own animation that you see when you pull the right trigger, which again, in my opinion, it kind of harkens back to a little bit of Blasphemous, but it's just not executed quite as well. Because for those of you who have played Blasphemous, you'll know that in Blasphemous, when you defeat certain characters at certain points throughout the game, certain times when you're getting ready to like finish an enemy, that enemy will be flashing red. When they're flashing red, it means that if you push, I think, the X button, the penitent one will do some type of finisher type of attack. But the thing is, each of those finisher attacks is unique to the enemy that you're finishing. So with some enemies, like if they have a shield, he'll pull the shield out of their hands and crush them with it. You'll see their bones flying everywhere. With certain enemies, his finishing attack, he might do like a 3-swing like sword attack that cuts them up into pieces. There's just a number of different attacks, and they kind of customize them according to the enemy that you're finishing off. And I think that just adds so much detail to Blasphemous. And I know it took a lot of work to kind of customize that in that way and add all that detail, which is a big reason why I'm excited for Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, which is coming to us in September. Because if they applied all that detail that you got in Blasphemous to like a side-scrolling Ninja Gaiden game, man, we're really in for a treat with that. So I know the demo for that has come out already, and a lot of people have been playing that. There's a bunch of different YouTube videos of people showcasing the gameplay and talking about that game. But just going back to Beyond the Ice Palace, I think it's a really cool game. I think like I am appreciating it for what it is. It feels very two-dimensional. Doesn't feel like there's a lot of depth to the game yet, but there's more to be seen. There's more to be seen, and I'm just starting to make my way through it. So we'll see how I feel as I go through it and make my way to the end. But again, shout out to Skur Thank you for reminding me that this game is out, and I went ahead and picked it up, and I am currently playing it right now. The next game, this is a game that I didn't think was out yet, but I actually was in one of my local GameStops and I found out that they actually had this. And so many of you might remember that there was a Galgardians Demon Purge game that came out, which is different, I think, from the traditional Galgardians that you're used to, which is more of like a 3D type of game. Well, these Galgardian games are really like 2D sprite-based Metroidvania style games. I have Galgardians Demon Purge. I had it on the Switch. I think I sold my Switch copy, but I still have my PlayStation 4 copy of Galgardians Demon Purge. Well, they released the second installment in that series, and it's Galgardians Servants of the Dark. And I think this one stars two different characters from the first game. And I have not gotten into this one yet. As you can see, it's still sealed. And unlike the first Galgardians, I have not downloaded this one. I recently did a Switch video, and one of the questions that I got was, am I playing my Switch games? There are some Switch games that I've elected to download and not open my physical copy just because as a collector, certain Switch games I wanted to keep sealed. I did not want to open some of the games that I have, but some of the games that I do have are opened and I do play the physical copies. So games like, Astral Chain, Freedom Finger, Gravity Circuit, these are games that I've actually opened and played. But a game like Steriden Binary Stars, this one I actually have downloaded. This isn't a game that I'm going to open. I'm going to kind of keep it sealed just because it's a little bit more rare, and it really doesn't make a difference if I'm playing the physical cart or the download version. I'm still playing the game. So that's the beauty of the Switch. You don't necessarily have to open every single Switch game you get. You can actually download the games and play them. And especially with some of these older games, or these limited run games, a lot of times when you check the Nintendo eShop and you just check their deals section, a lot of times these games go on sale for like $4, $3, $5. So it's really not a huge cost to keep the game sealed and download the digital version, especially when the digital version is coming in at a fraction of the price. All that being said, in this case, I have not played Galgardians Servants of the Dark yet, neither digitally, obviously, nor physically, but I did want to pick up this copy because I did see that it was out, and I had enjoyed the Galgardians Demon Purge of what I had played of it. Obviously one character has more of a projectile gun type of weapon, the other character uses more of a sword, and there are parts of the game where you kind of have to use one versus the other. Follows a pretty comical story in the first installment, but from what I've seen in terms of reviews, this one seems like a watered down version of the first game. I don't know if it's really improved on anything that we saw from Galgardians Demon Purge. So I am looking forward to kind of getting back a bunch of these like Metroidvania style games back in my collection. I sold a lot of them, but I do want to get them back. I already have Last Faith. I need to get back Moon Scars. I mean, I don't want to have all of them because they do become redundant, but some of them do have some novel features to them, and they have their own stories. So with there's some that I want to get back. I'm not gonna get them all back because there are some really clunky ones. Like I know one that I just couldn't really stomach for too long was Bloodstained. I know there's Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, but there's another Bloodstained game that has like what looks like a 2.5D type of graphical style to it. It almost plays like the Castlevania on the PSP. That Bloodstained game, I just could not really get into it. But there's another Bloodstained game that came in it came in like a dual pack, if I'm not mistaken. It came like 2 games on one cartridge, and it was one side it was Bloodstained and the other side was Val Faris. And that Bloodstained is a little bit better. It's not amazing, but it is a decent side-scrolling hack and slasher. So some of those games I'll be adding back to the collection. Some probably not. But let me know what you guys think of these 2 games. Have you played either of these? Yes, Beyond the Ice Palace 2 or Galgardians, the Servants of the Dark. Let me know how you feel about these 2, and I'll catch you in the next video. It's the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.